Hey up everyone and welcome. The kit for today's flower is available at ayupduckcreations.com. The link is in the description below. And today we're going to do the traditional Christmas flower, the poinsettia. But not by no means do we have to stay with tradition. We can make these beautiful pastel flowers too. But first, don't forget to subscribe and like. The kit is going to include everything that you need to make 3 flowers. And these are the tools that you're going to need to make the flowers. Before I get into making the flower, I just want to show you some options for how I did the shading on these pastel flowers. First of all, you could use markers or mica powders if you have any on hand, makeup of any kind, but my personal favourite is the pastel sticks or the pan pastels. If you're using powders, don't forget to use hairspray to make the powder stick. Now with the pastel coloured flowers, I'm going to give you some spare felt so that you can do some testing of whatever colours you want to use. I usually try and do 3 or so just to see what colours are going to look good on the felt that I'm using. And for the white poinsettia, I chose the dusty pink on the left. Now on the poinsettia, you're going to have this 5-star center, and I'm just going to put a colouring on each of those petals. And then on the other petals, I usually do a little fold, a pretend fold, and just see where the shading needs to be. And this occasion it's right in the belly button area of the petal. And again, if you're using powders, just make sure you spray these petals just so that the powders stick. And you can see how the shading appears when you start making the flower. And this is how the shady pastel flowers turn out. But today I'm going to show you how to make the poinsettia using the traditional colours. We're going to start with the green centre. We're going to put some glue across the bottom of the felt shape, fold over, and then we're going to do some fringing on that strip. Don't be too concerned about the width of the fringing that you do. It doesn't need to be perfect. Then we're going to take the thicker wire, the 18 gauge wire, just fold it over at the tip and make a little loop there so that it sticks better to the felt that we're going to wrap around it. And we're just going to wrap that green fringing around the tip of that wire. Now we're going to take the 5-star wire. This is going to be the first row of petals. You can either snip a slit in the centre, or like me, I'm a poker, I like to use a dull needle just to make a hole in the centre of the petal. Then we're going to glue around the base of the green and just put that star petal in place. We're going to glue each petal and then just squeeze and bring it up around that green centre. Just put a dab of glue, you don't need a lot. And then just place those 5 petals around that centre. It's going to come into like a pentagon shape, and these are going to be your spaces for the other petals that you're going to put on there. Remember, a dot of glue does a lot, so you don't need much, and if the glue comes unstuck, just go back and squeeze it back in place. Sometimes it takes a few seconds longer for the glue to sit. And that's our first layer of petals. Next we're going to move on to the 5 small petals, and these are going to sit in between those 5 first spaces. Now the beauty with felt is that it's very, very forgiving, so you can just pull those petals apart and sit that next row of petals in between the first row. Again, you don't need a great deal of glue, just a nice thin line there at the bottom of the petal. Now you do have a few seconds before the glue sets up, so if you get it just in the wrong place slightly, you've got enough time to reposition it. Now that's the second row of petals done, and we're going to move on to 5 of the larger petals, and they're going to sit right behind that first 5-star petal that we put on there. And again, we can pull those petals apart and put the base of this new petal right behind that first row that we did. Now it can get a bit confusing at times as to where you need to put that petal, and your glue can set up on you sometimes, but I have a tip later in the video to show you what to do if that does happen. There we go. Now we need to move on to the last 5 petals, and these petals are going to sit on the back of that second row of petals that we put in there. Again, we're going to put a line of glue at the base of this petal. Separate the petals out and just put the base right behind that second row of petals that we did. Stacking the petals like this gives us depth to the flower and makes the flower look fuller. Now, like I said before, sometimes you can get a bit confused as to where you're going to put the petal, and if that glue sets up on you, just take a pair of detail scissors. I use these embroidery scissors, and just shave off that glue line. The felt is thick enough so that you can take a little bit off the top and you can still use the petal. And there we have it. But I always like to make the flower as pretty on the back as it is on the front. And I just put a disc of felt around the back there, just to cover up any joins. But I also want to put some glue right down in the centre of the flower, just so that I make sure that all those petals are sticking together. So I put that disc down, and then I push gently in the centre, just to make sure that glue is connected to all the petals in the centre. Now we're going to move on to the leaves. We're going to use the thinner wire. This is the 22 gauge wire, and we're going to put a line of glue down the centre of the leaves. Not too much glue, just a nice thin line. And then we're going to place that wire down the centre and fold the leaf up over the wire and squeeze with your nail. Just run down the back of the wire just to seal everything in place. If it doesn't quite stick, just put another small dab of glue down that wire and squeeze again. And if you do get some glue seepage on the leaf, just take a green marker and run down that line there, and that'll cover up any glue that can be seen. It also gives depth to the leaf as well. And now we're going to use the floral tape to attach the leaves to the flower. I usually start about 1 inch from the base of the flower, just wind it round a few times and then push it up into the flower base. And put the leaves in position and carry on winding. Now it's the stretching of the floral tape and the heat of your hands that create the stickiness that helps the tape wind around and stay in place. Now we do some prettying of the flower, make sure we get rid of all the glue bits, any bits of fluff. And there we have it. There's your poinsettia. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget the kits are available at aupduckcreations.com. Join us on Instagram and Facebook. Subscribe for future videos. I'll speak to you all again later.